The moment you need her, you've already lost her. Listen to that again. You don't get power over a woman by chasing her, pleasing her, or proving yourself. You get it by walking away the second you realize you don't need her. You get it by knowing that your value doesn't live in her attention, her approval, or her validation. What if everything you were told about how to get women was designed to make you weak? What if the world programmed you to serve, to submit, to beg, and called it love? This video is not for the faint of heart. This is for the man who's tired of being invisible, tired of giving more than he gets, tired of performing like a clown just to be chosen. This is the wake-up call. And if you're ready to hear the truth, comment right now. I choose power. She wants the man who doesn't need her, not the one who texts her 12 times a day, not the one who cries when she says she's not feeling it anymore. She wants the man who could walk away mid-sentence and never look back if respect disappears. That's power. You've been taught wrong. Society tells you to be nice, be agreeable, be soft. They say, happy wife, happy life. They tell you to open up, cry, tell her all your emotions, put her first. But ask yourself this, has that ever made her love you more? Or did she pull away the moment you got too available, too soft, too emotional? Power isn't in volume. It's in silence. Respect isn't begged for. It's earned. And the love you're craving? It only comes when you love yourself more than you could ever love her. In this video, I will show you how to gain power over any woman, not by manipulation, not by force, but by becoming the man she can't help but follow. Number 1, stop needing her. You lose her the moment she feels you need her more than she needs to respect you. That's not poetry, that's psychological law. The second your actions begin to orbit her approval, you shrink in her eyes. She doesn't have to say a word. She can feel it, in your tone, in your body, in how you text her back within seconds, in how your entire day bends around her mood swings. You hand her your power like it means nothing. And when a man does that, he ceases to be a force. He becomes an accessory, a comfort object, something she can put away and pick up whenever she wants, not because she's evil, but because that's what you've trained her to believe. A woman can't love a man who isn't leading himself. If you follow her like a lost boy hoping she'll validate your worth, you will slowly erode everything she once admired. What you think is love, texting her all day, asking her opinion on every move, waiting by the phone for her to respond, is dependency in disguise. And dependency is the death of desire. It tells her, I have no life without you. But that doesn't move her. It makes her feel trapped. She didn't come into your world to carry you like a burden. She came because she saw fire in you, because your presence was enough without trying, because you had something bigger than her, a mission, a path, a vision. And now you've turned her into your mission. You've become emotionally homeless, trying to live inside her approval. That's not power. That's emotional suicide. If you want her to feel drawn to you like gravity, you must become untouchable in the best way. Not cold, not cruel, but immovable. She must know that if she disappears tomorrow, your life doesn't fall apart. It just continues, unshaken. That's where attraction lives. In certainty, in direction, in the calm dominance of a man who chooses, not chases. To stop needing her, you must reconstruct your inner world from the ground up. Start by withdrawing your energy from her and investing it into yourself like your life depends on it. Because it does. Stop checking if she saw your story. Stop rereading texts looking for hidden meaning. Stop interpreting her silence as an emergency. Every second you spend analyzing her is a second stolen from your own growth. Get obsessed, but not with her. Get obsessed with becoming so competent, so driven, so emotionally intelligent that you walk into any room and shift the energy without saying a word. Wake up before the sun. Sweat. Push your limits until your body hurts and your excuses break. Pick up books that rewire your thinking, Stoicism, strategy, psychology, and read until your eyes blur. Cut distractions. Cut men who gossip and women who drain you. Build your vision like you're building an empire, because that's what it is. Track your habits like your future depends on it, because it does. And most importantly, suffer voluntarily. Discipline yourself so deeply that pain becomes your teacher, not your enemy. Because the man who knows how to sit in discomfort without losing himself is the one who no woman can break. He is the rock, the standard, the frame she respects even when she disagrees. She won't always say it, but she's craving that man. The one who doesn't flinch when she pulls away, the one who doesn't chase when she tests him, the one who says no and means it, not to hurt her, but because he's not afraid to lose her. You become him by reclaiming every piece of yourself that you've outsourced to her attention. The laughs you fake when you're not amused, the apologies you give when you're not wrong, the energy you waste explaining yourself to someone who's already made up her mind. Take it all back. Stop needing her. Start needing your own respect more than her affection. Because when you do that, when you shift your priority from being loved to being powerful, she'll feel it. She won't say it, but her behavior will change. She'll text faster. She'll show up softer. She'll submit not because you forced her, but because your presence made her feel safe. This isn't about becoming heartless. It's about becoming whole, about understanding that true love can't bloom in the soil of insecurity. You must become so rooted in your identity that even if the world walks out on you, you remain. If you wake up every day needing her to complete you, you will always be half a man. But if you build yourself brick by brick until your presence alone commands silence, you won't need to chase anything, because everything worthy will chase you. That's how you gain power over a woman, not by holding her, but by holding yourself. Not by proving your worth, but by becoming so valuable you don't need to explain. Don't text her. Text your future. Don't wait for her to call. Answer your mission. Don't beg to. Be chosen. Choose yourself until it becomes impossible for her not to choose you back. She doesn't want to rescue you. She wants to rise beside you. She wants to feel inspired when she looks at you, not burdened. And she can't do that if you show up as a man who's constantly checking her emotional temperature before making a decision. Stop walking on eggshells. Start walking with purpose. When she sees you stand in your truth, even when it shakes the room, that's when she trusts you. And if she doesn't, let her go. You're not here to convince her. You're here to become the kind of man who doesn't ask for seats at tables. He builds his own. Cut the noise. Unfollow her. Mute her stories. Stop orbiting her world hoping she'll notice you. Vanish into your evolution so profoundly that the next time she sees you, you're unrecognizable. Not out of spite, out of progress, out of becoming the version of yourself that never needed her validation to begin with. Rewire your mind. Remind yourself daily, her love is not your oxygen, your purpose is. That's where masculinity lives, in direction, in knowing where you're going and not needing anyone to approve. Become the man who leads his life so powerfully that she either levels up to join you or gets left behind by default. That's the energy she'll never forget. That's the man she'll never stop thinking about. That's how you gain power, not by dominating her, but by becoming undeniable in your path, in your presence, in your peace. Number 2, master your mind. She only trusts the man who trusts himself. She only follows the one who walks with direction even in chaos. You don't gain her respect by trying to control her. You gain it by mastering the war inside your own mind. The battlefield isn't between you and her. It's between you and your reactions, between your ego and your discipline, between your emotions and your mission. If you can't hold yourself together when she pulls away, if you crumble every time she's cold, if your entire energy shifts based on whether she smiles or doesn't reply, then you've handed over the most powerful weapon you have, your internal stability. You must build a mind that is not moved by her approval, a mindset that cannot be bought by beauty or broken by rejection. Most men lose not because they aren't attractive, not because they don't have value. They lose because they can't lead themselves. They panic when she tests them. They fold when she gets distant. They collapse when she challenges their direction. And what they don't realize is that she's doing it to see if you're real. Women test for one reason, to find out if the man standing in front of them is solid, or if he's just a mask held up by fragile emotions. You want to win her? Stop performing. Stop reacting. Stop living on emotional autopilot. Build your awareness like a warrior sharpens his blade. Watch your thoughts without obeying them. Hear your doubts without submitting to them. When she says something that challenges your ego, pause, breathe. Respond like a man who doesn't need to prove anything. When she pulls away emotionally, don't chase. Hold your frame and let her come back to the gravity you've built. That's what she's watching, not your words, not your compliments. She's watching to see if your center can't be shaken. And you can't fake it. You either built that strength or you didn't. If you want to become him, you start by killing the boy who reacts. You stop giving in to every fear, every impulse, every emotion that begs you to make a move. You don't send the angry text. You don't triple text when she doesn't reply. You don't explain your worth when she questions it. You stay still. Stillness is the mark of power. Reaction is weakness in disguise. If she knows you'll react, she knows she can pull you like a puppet on strings. But when you remain unmoved, when you sit with the discomfort and allow it to pass through you like wind through stone, that's when she leans in. Because she's looking for something rare. A man who doesn't lose himself. A man who doesn't run from discomfort. A man who can face rejection, chaos, challenge, and still walk like nothing can shake his path. This kind of man is forged, not born. You build him in silence, repetition, suffering. You build him every time you wake up and go to the gym, even when you're tired. Because a strong body creates a disciplined mind. You build him every time you meditate, breathe through your reactions, journal your thoughts, and refuse to let them control you. You build him when you read philosophy, absorb truth, and apply it until your inner world is so ordered she can feel it when you speak. You build him when you delay gratification, when you sit with temptation and walk away without hesitation. Mastering your mind isn't just about stoicism, it's about becoming a man who's harder to move than the world around him. It's about showing her, not telling her, that she's not your compass. You are. Your values are your anchor. Your mission is your direction. And your emotions are signals, not instructions. Learn to feel without reacting. Learn to experience without attaching. The man who can sit in a storm and smile is the man who owns the room. Because nothing is more magnetic to a woman than a man she can't rattle. Not because he's arrogant, but because he's centered, rooted, clear. That clarity draws her. That presence holds her. That strength makes her feel safe enough to be soft. And it starts with you choosing daily discipline over emotional slavery. Every time you skip the gym, you weaken your mind. Every time you avoid discomfort, you feed the child inside you that cries for comfort. Starve that child. Feed the warrior. You are not here to be emotionally available to chaos. You are here to lead. And leadership starts within. She can't follow you if you can't even follow through on your own word. Say less. Move more. Build a code of values and live by it relentlessly. Make your mornings sacred. Make your words few and your actions loud. Refuse to argue. Refuse to defend. Refuse to react. You're not here to convince her. You're here to become a man who doesn't need convincing. And when she sees that, when she feels your energy remain calm while the world around you spins, she won't pull away. She'll pull closer, because you've become the lighthouse in her storm, the steady presence that reminds her what it means to be led. And not with force, with clarity, not with aggression, with certainty. That's how you gain power over a woman, not by overpowering her, but by being so fully in control of yourself, she chooses to follow your lead, not because you asked, but because you earned it. Master your mind, and she will never forget your presence. Real strength is shown in how you act when no one is watching and she's not replying. When you have the urge to prove your worth and choose silence instead. When you are tempted to fold and choose stillness instead. When everything in you wants to be seen and you walk away unseen but unfazed. That's when you become untouchable. She doesn't need a man who reacts to her. She needs a man who can lead her through emotional storms without losing his balance. You become that man not just by reading quotes or watching content. You become him by creating rituals that align your actions with your standards. Create non-negotiables. Train daily. Wake up before her. Grind while she sleeps. Lead yourself so deeply that your life becomes a magnet. And when she returns, when she sees your stillness didn't break, she won't question you again. Because stillness like that changes the entire dynamic. She doesn't want to mother you. She wants to mirror you, and the mirror reflects strength, order, clarity. That's what she responds to. So build that, quietly, daily, permanently. Number 3, control the frame. If you don't own the frame, you don't exist in her world. You're just orbiting it. She doesn't follow a man who bends. She doesn't trust the one who adjusts his values to keep her. She wants to know if you stand on something real or if your beliefs are made of sand. Every time you compromise what matters to you for approval, she loses a layer of respect. It's not what you say, it's what you fold on. Frame isn't about control over others. It's about control over your direction. The man who holds frame doesn't need to raise his voice. His actions speak so clearly, his silence echoes. She senses the difference between a man who leads and one who negotiates his integrity to please. She may not say it, but she feels it. She notices when you stop calling out disrespect. She observes when you tolerate what you once stood against. She files it away, not because she's evil, but because biologically she must feel safe, and safety is born from certainty. And certainty comes from your willingness to walk alone when your path demands it. Frame is not arrogance, it's awareness. It's the discipline of holding your line in the face of emotional fire. When she tests you with attitude, distance, or provocation, she's asking a question without words. Are you still who you said you were? The moment you start shifting your energy to avoid conflict, you lose. The moment you over-explain yourself, rationalize poor behavior, or justify betrayal, you're done. You cannot inspire respect from the position of apology when you've done nothing wrong. If you didn't betray your values, then you owe no explanation. Holding frame means you understand your values deeply, and they are not for sale, not even to the woman you love. You do not explain your boundaries, you enforce them. You do not beg her to understand your worth. You live in it so fully that it becomes self-evident. She doesn't fall in love with your flexibility. She falls for your groundedness. The man who can say no with calm energy changes everything. It shocks her because so few men can say no without becoming angry or insecure. But when you say it with clarity and confidence, she leans in. Frame is about knowing that you are the chooser, not the applicant. That she is entering your reality, not the other way around. Your life is the center of gravity, and if you dilute it with over-accommodation, you become forgettable. To hold the frame is to know what you want and to never betray it. If you say you don't tolerate lateness, don't accept it. If you say cheating is non-negotiable, don't negotiate. If you say your mission comes first, then don't trade it for convenience. She will test the frame not because she wants to leave, but because she wants to believe it's real. And every time you hold it, her respect for you rises. But if you fold, even once, you start dying in her eyes. Frame is built not through dominance, but through direction. You must be so certain about where you're going in life that she either joins that path or watches you walk it without her. You are not here to adapt to her chaos. You are here to invite her into your order. And if she cannot join, you release her, not with resentment, but with peace. Because the man who knows his path knows that not everyone is meant to walk it with him. You must audit your life like a king audits his court. Who adds to your empire? Who drains it? Who respects the throne and who undermines it behind your back? You do not beg people to stay. You build so powerfully that their absence is their loss, not yours. This is the frame. You do not bend your world to be liked. You build your world so powerfully that only the aligned remain. And when she sees that, when she feels that you are not moved by her threats to leave, her manipulation, or her coldness, that's when she softens. That's when she follows. That's when she surrenders to the presence of a man who cannot be bent by emotion or seduced by comfort. This is not coldness, it is strength. And it is the strength that allows her to rest. Because the truth is, she doesn't want to lead. She wants to feel your clarity, to trust your stability, to lean into your unwavering presence. But that trust is earned, and it begins the moment you decide that your frame, your values, your vision, your mission come before her moods. Love her, absolutely, but never above the principles that define your life. Because the moment you place her above your purpose, she loses the compass she was looking to follow. You lead by staying unshaken, and that leadership isn't loud. It's lived, in your tone, in your timing, in your truth. And when you live it fully, her only decision becomes, does she align or does she exit? And either way, you stay rooted. That's frame, that's power. Number 4, lead without chasing. The man who leads doesn't chase. He builds a world she wants to enter. Leadership is not in pursuit. It's in presence. She doesn't follow the man who tries to convince her, explain himself endlessly, or flood her with gifts in hopes she'll stay. She follows the man who walks with such unwavering direction that her instincts tell her to align or be left behind. When you chase, you give her the script. You ask her to direct, to decide, to lead, and she resents it, even if she doesn't understand why. Chasing isn't noble. It's a confession of lack. It says, I don't believe in my value, so I need your validation to feel whole. But what happens when you turn that validation inward? When you stop running toward her and start running toward your greatness? That's when she sees you. Because real attraction begins where desperation ends. She doesn't need to be overwhelmed. She needs to be inspired. And inspiration comes from motion. Build your life so powerfully that your presence alone feels like gravity. The kind of man who's not loud about his power, but you feel it in the way he enters a room, in the way he speaks without needing approval, in the way he prioritizes purpose over attention. Your discipline is your magnet. Your silence is your allure. Your path is your offer. If she can't see that, she's not ready. And you don't slow down for the unready. You keep building. You focus on becoming more dangerous, more grounded, more capable. You chase mastery, not women. You refine your craft until you're paid just to think. You shape your body until it's a temple of control and strength. You build your network so that your name opens doors she doesn't even know exist. And through it all, you remain kind, but detached, loving, but immovable. You don't chase, because what's meant to be aligned will never require you to abandon yourself. She must see that your time is earned, not owed. That your energy isn't free, it's sacred. That you are not here to entertain, but to evolve. And if she's the right woman, she'll feel safe in that. Because the man who leads without chasing creates an environment of trust. He is so rooted in self-worth that his love doesn't beg, it invites. And that invitation is powerful. She knows it's rare. She knows she can't manipulate it. She knows she has to rise to it. And that's exactly what evokes her respect. Not the man who sends paragraphs, not the man who explains his every move, but the man who moves in silence, knowing his path speaks louder than any words ever could. You become him by removing every behavior that screams, "Please choose me," and replacing it with a life so fulfilling that even if she walked today, nothing would fall apart. You lead without chasing by becoming the man who needs nothing, but adds value to everything. The man who brings peace, not chaos. Order, not confusion. Direction, not delay. And that level of presence cannot be faked. It is forged. Forged in mornings when no one is watching. In reps when no one is counting. In self-reflection when no one is listening. You lead without chasing by becoming so focused on who you're becoming that you forget to ask if she's watching. Because deep down, she always is. She's observing how you respond to her distance, how you act when attention fades, how you move when you're alone. That's when your real leadership is proven. And when you prove it, when you show that your value was never in pursuit, but in presence, you will see the shift. Her energy will change. Her tone will soften. She'll initiate more. She'll lean in. Not because you chased, but because you led. And in that space, in that reversal of energy, you finally reclaim your throne. Not above her, but ahead of her, where you were always meant to be. You were never born to chase approval. You were never built to beg for love, validation, or permission. You are not here to shrink to fit the world. You are here to shape it. You are here to dominate your space without raising your voice. To walk into every room with clarity in your eyes and peace in your heart. The moment you stop seeking to be liked and start building yourself into a man who is respected in silence, your life changes. Women feel it. Opportunities feel it. The world bends to the man who bends for no one. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be progressing. Every day, you need to stop waiting for someone to see your worth and start becoming the man who never has to speak it, because it shows in everything he does. Your leadership starts when your excuses die. Your confidence starts when you begin doing the things that scare you. Your power begins the second you decide to never fold on your values again. You are not lost. You are not broken. You are just buried beneath layers of comfort, distraction, and fear. And it's time to burn all of it, to rise from it, to become unrecognizable. Not just for her, not just to impress the world, but for you. For the man you see when nobody's watching. For the version of you that would never settle, never beg, never apologize for walking the road that no one else dares to walk. This is your life, your story, and it's time you wrote it like you meant it. If this spoke to something deep inside you, if something in your soul woke up while watching this, don't let that fire go cold. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, not just to help the algorithm, but because when you support this mission, you help make these truths accessible to the man who's still silent, still lost, still chasing approval in a world that's forgotten what strength looks like. Share this with a brother who needs to hear it. Drop a comment below that says, "I'm building myself so I know you're not here for entertainment. You're here to become the best version of yourself."